Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about a scholarship which can pay you up to 10,890 US dollars as a stipend. So you don't have to pay tuition fee from that amount. You don't have to cover your accommodation. That is entirely your stipend. Yes, you heard right. 10,890 US dollars per month. This is one of the highest paid scholarships in the world, and I get to know about the scholarships last year. So I thought that I should share this scholarship opportunity to all my viewers. So let's get started. So before going to the scholarship, I'll quickly explain you the requirements. So the scholarship is basically available for undergraduate, master's and PhD programs, but to be honest, I will say it's more lucrative and incentive based if you are planning to apply for a PhD scholarship. Even though the master's scholarship is good to go, I'll discuss the admission requirement for both master and PhD. And the good thing is that when you apply for admission, and if you are meeting the requirements for the scholarship, the university will let you know that if you qualify for a scholarship or not. So you don't have to do anything extra for the scholarship. You just have to apply for the admission. You have to wait for the response from the university. And if you qualify for the scholarship, they will let you know, and you can then start studying there along with getting some really good stipend. Moreover, they give you an option that if you want to teach there after completing your PhD, then that is possible as well. So let's talk about the requirements, admission requirements for the master's program. So for the master's degree program, so what I will do first, I will tell you the requirements for master degree program, and then I will tell you the benefits of master degree program, like the scholarship benefits. And then I will discuss about the doctor or the PhD degree program requirements, and then the benefits of PhD degree program. And as I said, PhD degree program is basically offering the scholarship up to 10,890 US dollars. So stay tuned and go through the entire video to get a clear idea about the admission requirements. So the first step is to select the discipline in the master's program that you want to study. If you find a master's degree with the relevant discipline, the next step is you need to make sure that you have completed a 4 years bachelor's degree in a relevant discipline with CGPA of 3.0 out of 4.0 or equivalent. The next requirement is the level of English language proficiency. So you need to meet either of these English language requirements. So either you should have completed IBT TOEFL, which is internet-based test, and your score should be at least 91 or equivalent. The second option to prove your level of English proficiency is doing IELTS Academic, and overall a 6.5 score is required in IELTS Academic. And the third option is you should have at least 1550 MSAT English score. If we move further, you need to have a minimum quantitative score of 150 in the GRE exam. However, applicants must attempt all 3 sections of the GRE. A minimum of 2 referral recommendations are required, and they need to be provided through the online form. You will have to provide the statement of purpose, which should be in between 500 and 1000 words. And finally, you will have to appear for the admission interview. If you qualify all these criteria, and if you are able to secure the admission in the university, then university will go through the applications, and the university will let the applicants know that which applicant is qualified for the scholarship. Now let's talk about the benefits for the master's degree scholarship. There are 4 tiers of scholarship: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4. So if we talk about tier 1 and tier 2, these are full-time or part-time. So in these 2 tiers, there is full coverage of tuition fees. All the textbooks are provided by the university. Full-time students will get free accommodation. Medical insurance will be provided to the full-time international students. Full-time overseas international students will get flights between their home country and the country where the university is located. Coverage of visa application fee for full-time international students. So these were the benefits for tier 1 and tier 2 students. Now if we talk about the tier 3 scholarship, in the tier 3 of master's scholarship, again this is for both full-time and part-time students. 50% waiver of tuition fee. Textbooks will be provided by the university. Full-time international students will get the medical insurance coverage. Full-time overseas international students will get flights from home country to the country where the university is. Full-time international students will get the coverage of visa application fees. Now, if we talk about the tier 4 of the scholarship, again, this is for full-time and part-time master's students. Textbooks will be provided by the university. So in tier 4, there is no coverage of tuition fee and only textbooks are provided by the university. Full-time international students will get medical insurance coverage. Full-time overseas international students will get the flight allowance, and the full-time international students will get the coverage for the visa application fees. Now let's talk about the PhD program. Remember the program about which I told you that they are paying up to $10,890 per month if you qualify for the scholarship for the PhD. So let's talk about the admission requirements first, and then we will go through the benefits in different tiers. So the step 1 is to select the PhD discipline that you want to study at the university. Once you find your relevant study discipline, the next step is minimum qualification requirements. So there are 2 criteria and you have to meet one of them. So the first criteria is either you should have completed a 4 years bachelor's degree in a relevant discipline with a minimum CGPA of 3.5 out of 4.0 or equivalent from a reputable accredited institution. Or the second criteria, you have completed a master's degree in a relevant discipline with a minimum CGPA of 3.25 out of 4.0 or equivalent from a reputable accredited institution. The next requirement is the English language proficiency, and again, same like masters, you have 3 options. Either you need to qualify the IBT TOEFL, which is internet-based test with a minimum score of 91 or equivalent, or you should have completed IELTS academic with a minimum score of 6.5, or you have obtained 1550 MSAT English score. A minimum quantitative score of 150 in the General Graduate Record Examination is required, and applicants must complete all 3 sections of the GRE. A minimum of 2 referee recommendations are required, and these are supposed to be provided through an online form. Your PhD research statement should be between 500 and 1000 words. And finally, you will go through the admission interview. If you qualify all these steps, most probably you will get the admission in the university, and university will let you know that if you qualify for their PhD scholarship. Now let's talk about the benefits of getting PhD scholarship in this university. And by the way, if you have been with me in the video so far, so I will tell you the name of university now. This is Khalifa University in Abu Dhabi, where many international students are getting this lucrative scholarship. And by getting this scholarship, they are not only getting a nice lucrative stipend, but they're also able to complete their PhD. And after completing their PhD, they are able to get the job as well. And the job is like very highly paid job in the Khalifa University. So let's talk about the benefits of the scholarship. So if we discuss about the PhD scholarship benefits, so there are 2 types of PhD scholarship. PhD scholarship with work commitment, which means you commit that you will work in Khalifa University after completing your PhD. And the second one is study path without work commitment. And definitely the benefits are different for both of them. So let's talk about the benefits of PhD scholarship with work commitment. One important thing that you need to note down is, just like in master's degree, I told you that the scholarship is available for full-time as well as part-time students. But the PhD scholarships are only available for the full-time students. So if we talk about the tier 1 of the scholarship, so full coverage of tuition fee, basic monthly stipend of 20,000 dirhams, additional monthly allowance of 20,000 dirhams. So now 20 plus 20 is 40,000 dirhams. And if I show you on my screen, 40,000 UAE dirhams are equivalent to $10,890 at the moment. Like I'm recording this video on 3rd of October. So by 3rd of October, the stipend amount is equal to 10,890. Textbooks are provided by the university. Students will get support to attend international research conferences, medical insurance coverage for full-time international students, flights between home country and the country where the university is for full-time overseas international students, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students, commitment to work with the university or a nominated entity upon graduation from a period equivalent to the period of study. The university reserves the right for any reason not to offer the student a post after graduation. Now let's talk about the tier 2 of the scholarship. So full coverage of tuition fee, basic monthly stipend of 20,000 dirhams, additional monthly allowance of 10,000 dirhams, so 20 plus 10 up to 30,000 dirhams in tier 2. Textbooks are provided by the university. Students are supported to attend international research conferences, medical insurance coverage for full-time international students, flights for full-time overseas international students, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students, and finally, commitment to work with the university or a nominated entity upon graduation for a period equivalent to the period of study. The university reserves the right for any reason not to offer the student a post after graduation. If we talk about the tier 3 of the PhD scholarship, then you will get 75% waiver of tuition fees, monthly stipend of 20,000 dirhams, textbooks provided by the university, support to attend international research conferences, medical insurance coverage for full-time international students, flights for full-time overseas international students, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students, and finally, commitment to work with university or a nominated entity upon graduation for a period equivalent to the period of study. The university reserves the right for any reason not to offer the student a post after graduation. If we talk about the tier 4 of the PhD scholarship, where a student does commitment that they will work after completion of their PhD with the university, then in that tier 4, they will get 50% of tuition fee waiver, free university accommodation for eligible full-time students, textbooks provided by the university, medical insurance coverage for full-time international students, flights for full-time overseas international students, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students, commitment to work with the university or a nominated entity upon graduation for a period equivalent to the period of study. The university reserves the right for any reason not to offer the student a post after graduation. Now, if we talk about the PhD scholarship without work commitment, then in tier 1, full coverage of tuition fee, monthly stipend of 4,000 dirhams, free university accommodation for full-time students, textbooks provided by the university, support to attend international research conferences, medical insurance coverage for full-time international students, flights for full-time overseas international students, and finally, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students. If we talk about the tier 2 of the PhD scholarship without work commitment, then 75% waiver of tuition fee, monthly stipend of 2,000 dirhams, free university accommodation for eligible full-time students, textbooks provided by the university, support to attend international research conferences, medical insurance coverage for the full-time international students, flights for full-time overseas international students, and finally, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students. If we talk about the tier 3 of the PhD scholarship without work commitment, then there is 50% waiver of tuition fee, free university accommodation for eligible full-time students, textbooks provided by the university, medical insurance coverage for full-time international students, flights for full-time overseas international students, and finally, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students. Finally, if we talk about the tier 4 of the PhD scholarship without work commitment. So 25% waiver of tuition fees, free university accommodation for eligible full-time students only, textbooks are provided by the university, medical insurance for full-time international students, flights for full-time overseas international students, and finally, coverage of visa application fees for full-time international students. So these were the requirements for master's and PhD scholarship. I'm giving the link of the scholarship in the description of the video. So scroll down and in the end of the description, you can find the link, or simply you can search about Sheikh Khalifa University scholarships and it will take you to their page. Feel free to go through their requirements. If you have any confusion, contact them. Trust me, this is one of the highest paid PhD scholarships that are in my knowledge. And I hope that this video will be helpful and useful for you. Make sure that you like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more useful content for teaching and studying abroad. Thank you.